Good afternoon, World Wide Web. This is James, your favorite ticker, with another update video on some of your favorite stocks. Today we're going to talk about momentum plays. What our goal here is to ride the momentum of a stock without seeing any earnings, without seeing any news, without any results. We're not going to be an earnings trader. We're not going to be a news junkie. We're not going to be chasing. We're not going to be doing anything like that. We're just going to take something that appears that has interest flowing into it and joining that interest for a few days or maybe a week at most before an event. The event can be an earnings call. We don't want to stick around for the earnings call. We just want to ride the hype going into the earnings call. The thing about an earnings call is people get interested in them and they want to play the earnings call. So therefore they buy the stock or they buy the option. Options really work best for this because you can make the most money on the smallest of movements. I've included a bunch of earnings call companies in this little demonstration I want to give to you in this video, but none's better than Spirit Airlines when it comes to momentum. Since we're at $8.91 on November 13th. Now, there's a trial going on, and they're going to see whether they can merge with JetBlue. But if they can merge with JetBlue, this thing's worth $31. Nobody knows what the judge is going to say, though, technically. But the momentum of people that wanted to get in on this play have made this stock go from less than $9 in just about 3 weeks to $14.84. We actually hit 16 bucks at one point right here. So from under $9 to $16 in 3 weeks. So you can imagine what that would do for an option. If you had an option, if this is an abnormal stock because everyone's known about this for a really long time. But notice the players, how late they showed up for this. This news has been out for 6 months. Momentum players want to come to play that final bit of momentum. Notice they haven't stuck around for any ruling yet. There's going to be a pile of people that don't want to hear the ruling because they're doing the same thing you're doing. They're just playing the momentum. They don't want to hear the ruling. They don't want to hear the bad news. They don't want this thing to go down to $6 on them. And they don't want to hear the good news. They don't want it to go up to 31 bucks on them. They just want to kind of ride the little highway of you interested people that love to play the momentum on things, and the people that are earnings traders or that want to see if this merger happens, or all of these interested folks add to more buying, and that more buying makes the stock price go up. There's other people out there that do the exact same thing that you do. They're not planning on watching the earnings either, but guess what? Because they're doing the same thing as you are, they're helping you build the momentum. In that last month, in that last couple of weeks before an event, people are jumping in there. And they're jumping in there, and just because they jump out with you doesn't mean that they weren't doing the same thing you were doing, which is being a momentum trader. Spirit Airlines, severe kick butt for being a momentum trader. If you look at this one, though, from a 6 months perspective, there's your momentum trade. But look, if you were in too early, if you were in this one October 24th, you took a beating before it came back. You just finally starting to get near back. And that's because the airline business did bad, and I don't really have many good excuses for this cavity, except for Spirit did bad as a company. But so if the buyout does fail, I guess the downside became much greater for them. So therefore, nobody's had an interest in it. And nobody had much of an interest to it through here. You know why? Because people like to show up really late. We live in a world of idiocracy. People aren't ready until it's like 3 weeks out. Then they're like, okay, I'm ready. Let's play this one now. And I'm like, come on, you've known about this one for a really long time. Let's take a look at another one. Walgreens, down in the gutter, 2307. Let's see what the last month has for us. Oh, hi there. Walgreens earnings, I believe, is January 3rd or 4th. It's 3 weeks away. And look what just happened. Everybody's like, oh gosh, if they have a good earnings report, this sucker could be back up to 35 bucks. I better get a few shares of Walgreens. So you're smart. You got in here somewhere around December 7th. And that's right about when I get in. How about that? Look at that. Looks like I hit the top perfectly or the bottom perfectly. But then I've got to enjoy 3 days of this. And on an option, this is worth $100 for every buck it goes up. It's kind of nice for each contract that you own. But a momentum trader, you get to enjoy this spike. And guess who's not going to be holding Walgreens on January 5th and has two thumbs? This guy. I'm pointing at myself. Yeah, I have no interest in seeing what their earnings are. I don't care if they do good or whether they do good, do bad. I just hope that no crappy news comes out in the next 3 weeks, and I hope nobody says anything, and that would be a perfect world. This thing hit 23 real high yesterday. Let's look at the 5-day. Yeah, we hit 23.36, I think, was the high yesterday. So we're at 23.36. It's kind of calmed down to 23.05. This is a 5-day chart. This is what they call momentum. Now, yesterday was not a big Dow day. This thing went up 7%. Seriously. Let's take a look at Bluebird. Not everybody's familiar with Bluebird. It's a smaller company, $21.22. Earnings coming, I believe, in less than 10 days. This is their last 5 days. Going from $19, $19.50 to $21.19. It's hit 22 a few times. Hello, Bluebird. You like the 5-day momentum? What's going on here? Why in the hell is this thing up over 10% in 5 days? Momentum. Everybody wants to get in. Everybody wants to play that earnings call. Everybody thinks it's going to be good. Everybody has to have the options. They're degenerate gamblers. They want to play the earnings call. They don't know what it's going to be. You don't know what it's going to be. So why gamble on it? Just gamble on the momentum that you know is going to be obvious before the Bluebird Corp earnings report. Again, up very well, not even in a good Dow day. Conagra Brands, a healthy company. It's been down on its luck lately. They had a bad earnings report last time. They came down in 6 months from a, let's see, a $30, $34, $35 stock down to $29. They were a $40 stock. Kind of on the downswing. If you check their balance sheet, you'll be very pleased with what you see. Their earnings line, they're nice and profitable. They hit the shits. But guess what? The earnings is coming out. Everybody's hoping. Everybody's praying. Everybody's got their fingers crossed. Everybody's wanting a piece of the action. Why? Because if they have a good earnings call, this sucker instantly can be up here again. They can instantly come, hello. And they want to make that money. They want to clear house on that one. Let's look at a 5-day chart on Conagra. Now, this one's still 3 weeks out. I expect a lot more out of this one. But here we've gone in 5 of the last 20 days. We've gone from high 27s to I think we've broken 30 on this one. Let me see. Yeah, ooh, just real close to 30. Today it's waffling off. But I expect it to maintain its upwards momentum. Why? Because earnings is coming out. Now, Chewy just did its earnings a couple of days ago. It just fell yesterday quite heartily, and then it kind of came back to itself. But let's look at the momentum on Chewy. Well, this is the earnings here. Hello. You didn't like it, did you? And then look, it came back after everyone didn't like it. We're going to have to go a little deeper on Chewy. 1 month. We'll go back to $17.42, and this thing hit 1965 was the high. So 1742 to 1965. This was on November 30th. This was a week ago. And this was 2 days ago, 3 days ago, the 6th. So in 6 days, we got $2, almost $2, more than $2, $2.20 in 6 days. And that enough, my friends, made me, my $100 options were worth $260 each when I sold them after owning this thing for just 2 days. I missed the whole beginning of this rally. I got into Chewy when it was like I think $20 or something like that, but I only caught in for the second end of it. But Chewy, a good example of a momentum stock. Down to down, down, down. What? Earnings are in a week? Oh, let's play this one. And then let's look at Smith & Wesson brands. Just had a bad earnings report. Aren't you glad you didn't hold this one through the earnings report? That wouldn't have been too good. You see the little momentum at the end here? Up, 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 up. Oh, anticipation. We'll call this up anticipation. When we cruise from 1375 all the way up to 1422. It wasn't a big move, but actually, if you're playing options, it kind of was a big move. I bought this one. My $100 contract was worth about $160 when I sold it for each one. So even on a small move like this, just this little bit of momentum, I sold right before the earnings. I didn't want to hear it. I don't want to hear their nonsense, and I didn't want to hear Chewy's. I'm not going to listen to Walgreens's. I'm not looking to gamble here. I'm just looking to just grab on some coattails and hang along. There's different kinds of momentum players. I like just to play the raw momentum. No news, no announcements, no earnings, no court date judgments. I don't want to hear this. Before this judge rules, I'm out of here. I might keep a share just to gamble, but or a contract just to gamble with it or two, but I'm not gambling the whole ball of wax. I already tripled my money. Why would I want to double down? This isn't Vegas. So can you make these moves all day long and make a buck on them during their little momentum states? I would submit you can. And I would also submit that sometimes you're going to get a lot more than you bargained for. On this Walgreens one, for instance, wouldn't shock me at all to see this thing at $26 on earnings date in 3 weeks. My options that I bought $100 are now worth $225. They're going to be worth $600 each. So yeah, can great things happen to you in these situations, like risk-free without hearing any downsides, without blowing your nut, without losing your wad? Yeah, absolutely. I like Walgreens a lot. Go through the upcoming earnings reports. Look a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in the future. That's your shopping list. Find the ones that are the bigger companies that have the most interest, that have decent volume, that maybe have been beat up a little bit. The more they've been beaten up, the more people are interested in thinking that they'll recover. And if they seem to be spiking every single day, go for the ride with it. You can just go for the ride with some of these things, and they'll take you up. You can lose 100% of your money with options, but you can also make 300, 400, 500% with options. So as long as these work out somewhere around 50-50, you should be doing really good. And they seem to be working out better than that. So far, I'm tracking just 9 of them this week, and they're all happily moving up. BlackBerry was my only anomaly. It's at $4 today. I think it was $3.95 when I bought it, so it technically went up only 5 cents. But I bought a bunch of options on it for the $4, so I'm gonna hit the strike price already. But I'd like to see it go to $4.10, $4.20, something before the options. The options don't really poof and lose value until earnings comes. There's so much interest in the earnings and people using options in earnings or to play earnings reports that they really do hold their value quite well right until they announce that good or crappy news. Yep, you're going to miss out on some. You're going to miss out on the high flyers, and you're going to miss out on all the meatheads that crash and do nothing. But most importantly, you can safely get in, safely get out, play this little end bit of hype, let everybody else get all jazzed up about things, and play it for the couple of bucks that you can play it for and get the most out of it by using options. Or you could even use regular stocks if you want to. You're just not going to make as much. You might make 3, 4, 5% in a week or something, and that might be awesome for you. Or 2% in a week would be actually pretty awesome. Most money market managers can't handle that, I'm sure. But yeah, momentum player. This is my 2024 goal, is to never do anything but. So hooked on this. I love it. I can sleep at night. I don't like earnings reports. It harkens back to, I had Norwegian Cruise Lines at $20, and I decided to sit through a damn earnings report. And when I woke up, it was 17, and then it just went down to what, 12? Good Lord. The momentum just went, whoa, down, 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 down. You don't want to sit through an earnings report. I mean, yeah, it could have gone the other way, but how often does that happen? I don't know. It seems like it keeps beating estimates, and they keep faltering anyhow, because people are thinking even bigger than that, because that's the age we're in right now, is idiocracy. And even if they say they're going to do $5 billion a year for the quarter, they're going to think, oh, well, they're going to do 5.2, and people just think that in their head, and then they don't, and then they go, oh, and then they sell, and they're going to sell anyhow. Why? Because it's not earnings season anymore. They're kind of selling after it happens, no matter what, anyhow, these people. They're momentum traders. That's what they do. So I think your odds are definitely better getting out. Playing the interest, playing the hype. Let other people do your dirty work for you. Take advantage of the fact that they have an increased interest level in the stock, and people that are holding it are going to continue because they also know better. They want to hear those earnings calls. Take advantage of it. When the momentum happens, these people get in because they want to hear the earnings call. Then there's people like, me. They are just getting in because you're getting in, and then it's a whole club of us. There's a whole club of us doing it together, kind of secretly and silently. It's like the unspoken conspiracy. It's one of those ones that you don't have to discuss just because you're like-minded. You're going to get in that week prior, and that's your juicy points, and they know it too, and they're going to get out right before earnings, and you're going to get out just before earnings. And that's why sometimes that day before earnings is shit. It usually doesn't pucker all the way up right at the earnings report like you think that it should. It's usually kind of eating itself up on that last day, because everybody's like, okay, I don't even want to hear this, because we don't want to hear it. Have a wonderful day. Momentum trading, everybody, give it a try. I like to try it with options that are almost in the money. When Spirit Airlines was $9.80 or $8.90, I would have liked the $10 or $11 strike price. I would have liked the date that was just past the earnings date or the event date. In Spirit Airlines, it would be sometime in January, probably, or late December. Walgreens, January 5th, sometime after that. If you don't want to pay a lot for it, go for the January 12th. That's what I did. Bluebird, I think, is the 20th of this month, but check. Conagra, the 5th of January. Chewy was 2 days ago. Smith & Wesson, 3 days ago, 2 days ago. Check it out. Track as many of them as you can. Put them all into a watch list, what's coming up for upcoming earnings. Start paying attention to it very carefully during its last week of its voyage before earnings, and I think you'll understand what I'm talking about, and hopefully you will find yourself a new play. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much, and please like the video and subscribe. Leave any comments below. If I got anything wrong, I'd love to hear about it. Have a great day, everybody, and happy holidays.